Well, thank you for that introduction. I'm going to ask you all to stand up. Now I'm going to ask all the men to sit down. Can you take a look around, please? Minority, I hear. Well, all the men can stand up again. And everybody can sit down again. A while ago, one of my younger female colleagues, I had a conversation with her, and she said, well, I think it's amazing what you do, going around the world, speaking at conferences, and combining that with your household, having 3 kids at home, and a husband, which makes 4 kids, but never mind. And she said, well, I think you're really a role model. And the moment that she said that really made me proud. Because until that moment, I didn't realize that I could be a role model for anyone in a professional IT environment. But the road to where I'm at now wasn't always easy. And I'm going to share some challenges with you. And for that, we have to go back a long time. 26 years ago, I started to study human-computer interaction. It was a very broad study. It was programming in Java, Visual Cafe, testing with TMAP, doing MySQL, and also configuring calculators or programming calculators. But also designing trainings and working in project teams, so it was very broad. We started with 3 classes, around 60 people, and only 3 of them were women. And while the guys were playing Dungeons and Dragons, organizing LAN parties, and trying to hack the vending machine at school, which got them kicked off school, but never mind. I was figuring out party peeps and trying to find where the next R&B party was going to be. I could not relate with the people. And a lot of times I felt very lonely. I felt like I didn't fit in. In 2001, I got pregnant. I paused my study, and when my kid was 1 year old, I resumed my study, finished that, went to university afterwards, studied information science. In 2006, I got pregnant again, and I did my master thesis research with a big pregnant belly. You could say I was not the typical IT student. But I finished that. In 2007, I was done with my master thesis, and I had delivered 2 kids to the world, did 2 studies, so I was ready for my career. But my career was not ready for me. I wanted to do something in information security, but at that time, that's like 20 years ago, information security did not get as much as attention as it does now. It was not as hip and happening as it might be now. And there was no role for me. I wanted to do something on the edge of the human side and the technical side of security, like influencing behavior and that kind of stuff. But there was no role for me. I just finished school, not a typical IT student. And the people that worked in information security at that time were either gray old men writing policies on the one side, and on the other side, there were young people hacking stuff. And again, I could not fit in. I found myself at a security conference once, and there were no women on the stage. And when I found myself in a coffee break at like this standing table, I looked around, and also no women. I felt I didn't belong. I didn't fit in. I left the information security ambition behind, and I rolled into the agile world. Started working at Xebia. And at a moment, I wanted to do the training leadership for women. So I said that to my manager, and he said, well, that's going to be a waste of time and money, because leadership for women should be the same as leadership for men. We're all human, so it should not make a difference. Well, there are some differences, but I went to the training anyway. I learned a lot about him and about myself. If you know the Rose of Leary, he was there, I was here. So imagine how our conversations always went. But luckily I had a colleague, Nicole. She took me under her wings, and I had a buddy, Laurens, who helped me and supported me in the things that I was pursuing. But I felt not heard and not seen. And I think this all happens, or has happened, because there was a lack of women in my surroundings. So I have a question to you. If you have any little women in your surroundings, your niece or your daughter or other girls, please encourage them to go into information security or in the information technology, so that in 15 years from now, they don't have the same problem. Because it ain't all that bad. And Xebia is a great place to work, so always welcome. So that's one thing. And the other thing that I want to ask you, if you have someone in your surroundings that feel that they are not heard or seen, or they feel like they don't fit in, see if you can be a buddy or a mentor for them. Because everybody can be a role model. Thank you.